Hi guys. So I'm kind of just gonna start getting into it and I'll chat with you guys and speak to you guys as you guys get on here. Um, but I guess I should do the intro. I guess I'm still not accustomed to doing live videos and saving them and uploading them as actual videos. But hello, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time tuning in. My name is Christian. I'm a spiritual mentor. All of my content is about, healing you and helping you reach your highest self. If it's your first time seeing me, you can go ahead and like this video. I know you're gonna like it already. And if you already are subscribed, welcome back. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe and turn on those post notifications. Um, but today we are going to be talking about some collective downloads that I've been getting for you guys. And the title of this message, I guess, is that this is our ninth chapter, ninth level, ninth lap, even. Because we know 10 is the number of completion. And I feel like a lot of us are in the chapter of 9, a season of 9, wrapping things up, tying up loose ends, finishing things off, and getting to a place where, the things that once held us back, distracted us, gave us stress, gave us frustration, we're able to kind of now release these things and move forward. So yeah, I'm not sure when you guys are going to see this video, but I am doing donation-based readings this week. So if you guys are seeing this video around the same time that it was posted, today is June 5th, I believe. So I guess if you see this up until June, 10th maybe, then you can head on over to the collective, not the collective, you can head on over to the community tab and see where you can get a donation-based reading for me this week. But yeah, and I'm sending those out today if any of you guys are interested. Hi everybody that's on. I hope you guys are feeling good. There's also tickets available to the intuitive course that's going to be starting in July. You guys can see some information about that in one of my recent videos, and also you can look in the description box and go to the website and get the information. But yeah, you guys can always book sessions with me, connect with me, and all that good stuff. But the energy of, being in the ninth lap, the energy of being in a space where you are very close to wrapping up the things that you have been working on, the things that you have been thinking about and focusing on, is a really intricate space to be in, because you want to make sure you're doing the right things. You want to make sure that you aren't making any mistakes. And I feel like that's why a lot of us could feel really harshly when we are making mistakes right now, kind of feeling like, dang, I know this already, I've done this already, why am I still falling into the same spaces or making the same bad decisions, or seeing myself kind of going the same cycles over and over and over again. But we are in the space of 9, and I feel like whenever we are about to wrap up a chapter, whenever we're about to finish up a cycle, it's always going to get bad before it gets worse. Things are always going to be more stressful and more confusing before they start to come together for us. So I feel like, we are just in a space of kind of pushing through until we really get to the finishing point of our journey. I felt like the summer was going to be a turning point for a lot of us, because I know that this year and last year, it's kind of been the same energy that we've been experiencing. I feel like a lot of people have been kind of in an uphill battle kind of mode for the last, couple of months. Just really since the last eclipse season, even since last fall, since around last October. I feel like we've all been, working towards our goals, understanding more about our goals, understanding what we want and what we don't want. I feel like if we've had certain goals in friendship, family, career, those goals have changed. And I feel like we have different things that are motivating us now. My lip gloss is like giving me like a white line, and that's really bothering me. But I've been doing a lot of work and talking a lot today, so. But I have to get that off. That's bothering me. I'm staring dead at that. But yeah, like, I feel like a lot of us, our goals have changed. Like, we want different things. So whenever you're preparing for a goal, just so you guys can grasp the the nature and the size of what we're all working on right now, so you can just be a little bit kinder to yourself as you're going down the journey, because we are really doing hard work right now, and I want us to recognize that and understand that and know that. So we are giving ourselves more grace and more patience. So whenever you're going after a certain goal, you have to know what it takes to achieve that goal. You have to make sure that you have what it takes, that you have the skills. If you don't, you have to make sure that you go out and get the skills that it takes. You also have to, think about how much time, how much energy, how much money, what resources you're going to need to create that goal. You have to think about, what other things could possibly pop up in your life and could make it difficult for you to, meet the goal that you've been trying to step into. It's a lot that goes into it. You might have to feel differently about relationships. You might have to cut people off, bring people into your life, start some journeys, end some journeys. You might have a lot of different things that transpire when you're after a certain goal. When you shift your goal to another focus or to something completely different, or you want to even do the same thing in a different way, everything that I just talked about has to shift. Everything I just mentioned has to change. So when you are in a space of like, oh my God, I've been working towards this, I realized I didn't want it, now I want something else. Everything has to change around you. The goals have to change. Your boundaries have to change. Your process changes. If you had a certain to-do list, that's going to shift. So when you're in spaces of consistent change, and a lot of us have been doing this on a regular basis, where every month you have something else you want to start, or every month you think of another way that you can kind of reach your desired goal. So when you're in that space of constant change, constant evolution, it can feel exhausting, it can feel tired, it can feel that you're at the end of your rope. And I feel like a lot of us have been in that space for a very long time, but now we're in that space for real. And the difference between, being in that space like we've been in the past and being in this space now is that we are in a space now of rest. We're in a space now of recuperation, of, getting all of your energy back, building back your confidence. Now that you've done all the work necessary to prepare a space around you and within you that's perfectly aligned to what you're walking into, now you get to take a break. Now you get to take a breather. Now you get to spiritually unwind from all of the work that you've been doing in the past. But when we've been active so long, we've been in a space of moving so long and grooving so long, it can feel uncomfortable to have to take a break. It can feel uncomfortable to need to take a step back. So I definitely think that we should just focus in more about our energy and how we can make sure that we are feeling good and looking good and taking care of ourselves and instilling in ourselves positivity, instilling in ourselves beautiful energies that can really, just support us, rather than constantly picking at ourselves about the journey. Like, oh my God, why am I not here yet? Why have I not done this yet? Why am I still waiting on this? Why am I still waiting on this? It's so many things, too many things, that we allow to kind of make us feel like we're not doing the right thing, or make us feel like we're so far behind, when in reality we are always right where we need to be. And I feel like, in this space, we have all of the time, the energy, and the resources, and the support necessary to really prepare ourselves for where we're going to be in the future. And we also have the opportunity to prepare to start back at ground zero. Because remember, whenever we complete another journey, we're only at the bottom of the next level for us. Whenever you learn how to crawl, you learn how to stand, then you learn how to walk, then you learn how to run, then you learn how to skate, then you learn how to swim, then you learn how to do all of these other things. It's a level up. We're consistently learning and growing and getting faster and stronger. And the same thing happens for us spiritually, and the same thing happens for us in life. Even if you aren't really growing, even if you stay in the same job and the same relationship forever, if something isn't elevating with you, if something isn't growing around you to kind of match you a little bit more and make you more comfortable, you'll kind of always be in a space where you're feeling like something isn't right. You'll always be in a space where you feel like something isn't really giving you what you need. And I feel the space that we're in right now is really going to be the determining factor. How we handle the space right now is going to be the determining factor that's going to either lead us forward or potentially push us back and keep us in an old thought process. So you have the opportunity right now. You can stress through this chapter. You can doubt yourself through this chapter, isolate yourself through this chapter, set yourself back through this chapter, or you can use this chapter to help you elevate. You can use this chapter to help you move forward. You can use this chapter to lay down a foundation of rest, of meditation, of reflection, of, even reconciliation, even time to release, If you've been on your journey and you've fallen out with people or cut people off and you've developed certain grudges, if you're holding on to certain energies, this is the time to make sure that when I walk through this door, everything that I carried on my body when I was making my way to the door, I'm going to leave it outside the door. I'm not going to take it through the door with me. Like, let's say, for example, you're in a house where there's, like everything is covered in wet paint, and you're going through a door where everything's clean on the other side of the door. All of the stuff that you've picked up on as you've been bouncing around these walls and walking around this house, everything that's on you it's not going to belong. It's going to stand out in your new environment. It isn't going to align with your new clean environment. So you have to remove everything and cleanse yourself of that while you're still standing in it, in order for you to step into your next chapter. And that can be really, really, really difficult. But I feel like true completion and a true ending of a journey is when you're able to come to the end of the journey and like pick yourself up for the last few steps across the finish line. And if you're not able to do that, then you really don't ever finish a journey. You're just kind of dragging yourself from one space to the next, but you never feel finished. You never feel complete. You never give yourself the time to, pour into yourself, cater to yourself, love yourself, and remind yourself like, hey, I am proud of you. Like you went very, very far. You kept moving forward and you didn't have to. You could have been gave up, but you didn't. You kept looking ahead. You kept your head on straight. You kept being hopeful about all of the things that you can step into. So, yeah, I feel like this is really an opportunity for us to reflect, to show ourselves gratitude. And if there are last minute decisions that you have to make that you've been avoiding making this entire time, this is going to be your opportunity to make those decisions before you end up in a space where you feel too bad about it to do something about it. There's a lot of guilt that we carry when we know that we could have been did something and we haven't done it. Kind of like if you walk past the same pile of dirty clothes every day, or if you have the same issue and you don't ever do anything about it. Eventually you'll start to get anxiety about dealing with it because you taught yourself that this is worth me ignoring. So you start to feel like, if I do, deal with this, what's going to happen? Because I've been walking past it this entire time, not dealing with it. So this is the time to kind of leave some things behind. If you have been carrying some things from your last chapters, from your last completion moments, this is definitely a time to release. I feel like we've gained a lot of wisdom. And if you feel like you haven't gained any wisdom, just think about the trials and the frustration that you've gone through. Every space that we're in where our back is against the wall is a space where we're able to learn something different and grow in a different way. So when we put ourselves in that space, it does so much for us on so many different levels. And it's just really powerful to be able to, connect with yourself on a very, very strong, very, very deep level. And, really realize how much you've grown. Like, I feel like some of us have grown in so many different ways we don't even realize it. We feel like we're so stagnant and we feel like ain't nothing changed and we're just so discouraged. We feel like we're so far ahead from our finish line, when in reality your next step is the final step. Your next step is stepping into that. And I feel like if you aren't connected with that, then you definitely want to be mindful of why. You want to be mindful of why you don't feel like you're doing enough when you've seen yourself do the work every single day. You want to be mindful of why you're disconnected from your progress and disconnected from your success. I'm actually going to talk about this. Somebody put a question in here. So I'm actually going to answer this question because I've had a lot of people, one person asked me about this as well. So I feel like it must be a few of you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, and I try to not, focus too much on the questions when I'm on here doing lives and I'm just getting through downloads, because I kind of just like to flow with whatever's coming to me. But Cena Young says, I don't know my passion yet. It keeps changing every day. What can I do to let go and find it? So when you're in a space, I think this is why it's so important to release, because whatever we are feeling in a certain moment is what we're supposed to be feeling in that moment. And you always have the option to just go with it. It doesn't have to be, my passion is changing every day. This is so frustrating to me. You can embrace the fact that your passion is changing every day. And, every answer is not one answer. There's always a lot of different things that we can do. All of us are multi-talented and we're interested in so many different things. We want to do so many different things. your passion in life and your purpose in life is not based on what you're supposed to do in this life. And what you're supposed to do in this life is not limited to a career or limited to your purpose is to do A, B, C, and D. You know, we all have a very broad purpose of being the best, most healed versions of ourselves. So everyone connected to us can then be the best, most healed version of themselves. We are all supposed to teach each other things and heal each other and show each other and guide each other. So there is not one passion that we will have in this life. There is not one purpose that we will have in this life. There isn't one goal that is limited to a specific, thing. You cannot say your passion in a sentence or in a I'm supposed to do this. We are all supposed to heal and be the best version of ourselves, and then in turn, do that. Be who Source created us to be, and everyone that we're connected to, we're going to, encourage them to be who they need to be as well. So there's so many different things that goes within that. Within that umbrella is failure. It is sadness. It is loss. It is, reconfiguration and putting yourself back together again from a bunch of different pieces. It is creating a new version of yourself. It is total transformation. It's being broken down so you can be rebuilt. It's all of these things, and it still aligns with your purpose. Sometimes being confused is a part of what your purpose is. Sometimes being confused leads you deeper into your passion. Sometimes wanting to do something different every day lets you know, hey, I need flexibility. Hey, I need something with more flow. I need something that allows me to step into all of the things that I enjoy. And it is quite possible to do all of the things that you enjoy. I think it's important to not think of yourself, in any box, not put yourself in any limits, because we are really limitless in what we can do. And you can be just as powerful and just as successful, and you can be moving just as much in a space of being stagnant as being in a space of taking action and moving forward. So I think it's important to just go wherever you are led and not feel like anything is wrong with where you're being led. Like if you are having a new passion or a new idea every day, why is that a bad thing? Why is that not something that can be used for your benefit? Something that can be used to show you all of the things that you're good at. Something that can be used to, just show you a wide range of, all of your gifts and all of your abilities and all of the different things that you can possibly capitalize on in a lot of different ways. So yeah, I feel like we all, of course, we want to do a lot of different things. We have a lot of different things we're interested in, but you will always have different things you're interested in. Like as we continue to grow, you will want different things for yourself in a year from now, and in a year from then, you'll want different things then. So I think flow and releasing control is really important, because a lot of times we feel like our life is supposed to look a certain way. That's why so many of us can be confused, or we cannot feel like we're doing the right thing, because we feel like if I'm doing the right thing, I should be happy all the time. I should feel good all the time. We aren't going to feel good all the time. Even if you're making all of the right choices, we know that there's a time and a place for everything, that there's a season for everything that we experience. There's a season for grief, a season for love, a season for joy. So nothing is ever wrong. Nothing we feel is ever wrong or out of place. Everything that happens in our life is exactly how it's supposed to be. But we can use these things to elevate us. You can learn and heal and, create some really beautiful connections through your grief. You can learn and elevate and release yourself from generational, bondage through your sadness and through your sorrows and through your confusion. You can use any situation as an opportunity to see the world differently and see the world from a different perspective. And sometimes that is success enough. Sometimes that is, healing enough. So yeah, I guess I could answer some questions if you guys have questions about this. I know my passions, but I'm afraid to make some actions. So, releasing fear is important too, because why are you afraid of making action? Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid of doing the wrong thing? Are you afraid of wasting time? Are you afraid of being embarrassed? Are you afraid of making mistakes? There really is nothing that we need to be afraid of, because we're going to experience everything. And I kind of feel that it's I feel like it's kind of, I feel like we say that the definition, what do people say? That the definition of like, I don't know, some people say the definition of like stupidity or ignorance or something is like doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I can't remember which one of those words it is, but I feel like the definition of like, I feel like knowing something is going to happen and being afraid of it anyway is a definition of something. I'm not really sure what exactly that defines, but I feel like there is like a little delusion in that. And being delusional isn't a bad thing. We've all been delusional at some point in our lives, but failure, being broken down is really a part of life. And I don't think that we should fear anything that is unavoidable. Fear the stuff that you can avoid. Be afraid of being eaten by a shark. You can avoid that. Don't be afraid of failure because it's unavoidable. And when you fear things that are unavoidable, you really cannot live life, because the things that you are afraid of are the things that are going to happen no matter what. You can't avoid them. But when you face them head on and you turn them into something that can help you grow and help you learn and help you expand, you open up another door to those potential issues. You open up another door, another opportunity for you to understand things in a different way. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, someone said divinely guided empress. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, so it's delusion, but it's also something else. I'm not really sure if there's a word that defines it, because delusion can be more things than just that. But it's definitely a part of delusion. Being afraid of things that we cannot, control. And we all have moments of delusion, but you have to remind yourself of that. Like, I can't be afraid of this because I'm going to do it. It's gonna happen. I can't be afraid of failure in this new business because I'm gonna fail on I'm gonna fail on my job. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna fail at it. You're gonna fail. That's just a part of everything. You're going to fail once at anything you do. Even the things that you are good at naturally. You might be good at it for 3 years and then fail one day at it, randomly. So failure is a part of life. Making mistakes is a part of life. Losing everything and starting over is a part of life as well. We'll all experience losing everything and starting over from scratch more than once. So yeah, not to fear it is really important. Sigma H says, I can't figure out why I'm holding myself back. I keep asking myself and I have no answer. There could be a lot of reasons that you're holding yourself back. You could not really think that you can do what you feel you say you want to do, or what you think you can do. You can have doubts that you can even do it. You cannot want to deal with everything that comes with the new chapter that you're stepping into, either subconsciously or consciously. You could have had a childhood where you weren't encouraged to try new things and to put yourself out there. You could lack support. You could be comfortable in the current space that you are. You could have anxiety about the unknown. There's a lot of things, but that's why it's so important to be able to connect and communicate with yourself. Because the more you connect with yourself, you will get answers. It might take you a second to decipher those answers, but you'll always get answers. You get answers in how you feel. You get answers in your dreams. You get answers in the things that people say to you. You get answers in a lot of different ways. So I think it's important also to see everything as something that means something else. Like, look for a double entendre in everything that you experience, because there's always several different meanings and several different purposes attached to everything that we do in this life. Hello from Uzbekistan. Wow. Hello. Sorry guys, I forgot that some people are going to be watching this back. I should probably not just stop talking and just stare at the screen for too much. But yeah, I definitely think, like I said, in the chapter 9 that we were all in the period that we're in right before our grand finale, I think it's really good to be mindful of what you want out of life, um, and you know what you've been working so hard for, and just to keep that in focus and to let that motivate you to love yourself over the finish line, because we really have to be in a space of acceptance when we cross that finish line, because if we aren't, then we really don't recognize that we're done. We really don't recognize that we're done, and we really won't ever be satisfied. But yeah, I'm gonna pull an oracle card for us. Remember that I'm doing donation-based readings today, guys. So if you're interested, you can check on over in the community tab and get a reading today. I'm also, the tickets are available for the intuitive course, and there's a new podcast episode today. So make sure you guys check out the community tab and the link in the description box. All of the info down there to get into it. But yeah. I'm gonna grab an oracle card for you guys. Charlotte says, I start and I don't complete. Yeah. I think keeping in mind, you know, your purpose, dealing with the things that make you stop, making your life an optimal space for your success. So managing your time better, being more organized. But yeah. I thank you guys for being here. I know I've been feeling a little iffy about YouTube lately. But I am excited to connect with you guys whenever I feel called to do so. So yeah, I hope everybody has been, you know, feeling really well. And yeah. Remember, you can always connect and book sessions with me and all of that good stuff. I'll pull 3 of these at the link in the description. You guys can check in. This person says, what is your favorite angel number? I don't know if I have a favorite angel number, to be honest. I really don't know if I have a favorite one. I kind of see combinations of numbers all the time, so I'm not really sure if I have a favorite angel number. All right, let's go ahead and get into these 3 oracle cards. So the 3 cards that I pulled for you guys, we have humility, we have energetic clearing, and we have your path. Humility, energetic clearing, and we have your path. So I'm going to read these for you guys, and we'll probably dip after that. But yeah, so humility. This card says, allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. Allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. So I definitely think humility is really important. Just trusting that we have help coming from everywhere. We have guidance coming from everywhere. You're not doing this on your own. Do not think that you're doing it on your own, because you're not. So, you know, don't feel like you have to figure it out. Don't feel like you have to, you know, figure it out on your own, because you don't. Allow everything around you to guide you and lead you. We also have energetic clearing. This card says, during crises, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. During crises, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her most luminous plan. So obviously this is talking about energetic clearing, and how sometimes we could be in a space of confusion, a space of being down, a space of being stressed, and we have this energetic clearing that can kind of come over us through the stressfulness, through the frustration. Just like I was saying, sometimes, you know, we might have, you know, sorrow or anxiety or a bad day that allows us to see something that can free us from something. So again, sometimes during a crisis, we are being emptied of our fear and attachments, being prepared to receive the plan that we're stepping into. And lastly, we have your path. This says, dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and illusions. So a lot of energies here about releasing fear. Dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and illusions. This is a beautiful card. So trusting your path, trusting God's path. Every time I saw this card, your path, it always made me think of like my path. Like this is saying, oh, I'm thinking about my path, your path. But now reading this, I really feel like this is about like the your being God, like God's path, like saying, I trust your path. I don't trust my path. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I have for me, but I trust your path. And far beyond my fears and illusions, a lot of things that we see and feel are based on fears, based on illusions, just like I was saying, you know, that disillusioned energy of fear of things that are inevitable that can kind of hold us back from certain things. So yeah, guys, I feel like we are really on the cusp of a lot of beginnings. And remember that endings are beginnings, one and the same. So yeah, I feel like we're really being emptied of our fear and attachments. Sometimes this means like kind of being ripped away from everything and everybody and being in a space where you have to feel like, wow, it's really just me. You know, I'm really just here by myself getting out the mud. You're like, dang, you know, sometimes we have to experience that. But it's all for our good. It's all for our betterment. And it will always bring us to a space that elevates us and that gives us what we need. So yes, guys, I appreciate you guys for being here. And yeah, I thank you guys. Remember to check out the description box to see all of the information that you can see. And, you know, just tap in with me there. The podcast, Pixie Apothecary, a ticket to the intuitive course. And literally all of the Instagrams, the community, the group chat, all of that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys for being here. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this message and enjoyed these downloads and enjoyed these oracle cards. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys later on. Bye, guys. Bless.